All right, so we have come a very long way. Now what we are going to do, we're going to add Perplexity to our workflow that we have created before. So if I go back to this workflow that we have created just minutes ago, we already have some sort of a structure in it. We just need to get the questions coming from there. Instead of like summarizing it, I would like to prompt it like this. Get the question from the following. Okay? Because this is a big object coming in, I want to get just the question, the query of that. I will also add some notes. The user is called Aemal Sayer. He is living in Berlin, Germany, and the time there is now. If you put these curly brackets, you see all these options. I would like to select the option now. If I do that, you can see there that it shows what time and date is now in Berlin. So I'm going to save this. Now, instead of like doing this response, before I do the response, I'd like to add a Perplexity node to this. So I'm going to add Perplexity node. And once I added that Perplexity node, as we know, Sonar Pro 9, I'm going to keep that and search, for now, a template like what is happening in Berlin today. I'm going to keep it like that. Keep execution, like start the execution here. The request here is something to do with summary, and it's coming with a lot of data. I'm going to just manually change it to I was talking about recording. I'm doing recording, yeah. So here, I will ask what is happening in Berlin today, so that we can get this information from inside the request and then do something about it in here. So if I run it again, in this case, it will fail. And when it fails, I know why it's failing, and then let's go fix that thing in here. So this is saying like it's failing because the respond webhook is not connected, which is true. Let's connect that thing. But all we needed was the data, which didn't come. Let's retry that. Execute. The execution went on. Okay, so now the Perplexity node is running, but the Perplexity node search for this particular static data. I don't want to do that. I want to get this thing, what is happening in Berlin today. So this is a very important part. Look, the input in the output part. If you remember, I mentioned that there's always this input and this output part. The input was pretty much chaos, like a lot of objects. We said, get the question from the following, da-da-da, and the question is this thing. That's so beautiful. That's the part of this whole thing happening. The AI agent, this AI agent node, give us a structured output with the use of ChatGPT, something that we need here for Perplexity. Now I'm going to do a little bit of prompting in here. I'll turn it into expression. I'll say the user is living in Berlin, Germany, and the time is curly brackets now. And then I will search here. Query is the query that's coming from this result. So now, if you see this particular part will go to Perplexity. If I click on execute, the output coming back to me is so much relevant to my time, my place, and the question that I asked, particularly that question. That's the most important part. Like this question goes in the system prompt, and the output that I see here will contain information about Berlin events and also will contain information about that time. So today is 15th of June and the result coming back is from 15th of June. Now if I execute this whole system one more time, and if I run it, my system A is now Postman, not Vapi yet. It goes and searches for something, and then it comes back to me based on that response that I have got from Perplexity, the live online search, and it gives back some information. That information is right now empty. Why? Because in here I need to do some more mapping because these mappings broke because of that change that we did from Perplexity, from Postman, from the Vapi to Postman. So we need from the AI agent, this tool calling goes here, and this result goes right here. Or we can also drag and drop the entire result right here, but it's okay. Okay, so now if I execute, I'll see some output. Let's run it one more time. I need to make sure that this workflow is running. Click on send. There you go, it's running. So that very old school thing, like this request goes here. It is processing, processing, processing. Once the process is done, then it comes back here with a 200 response. And you can see it took a long time. Why? Because Perplexity took 20 seconds to reply. That's fine. I think for real-time information, that's important. So now, I'm not sure why the response says what's happening today in Berlin. Oh, indeed, we mapped it wrong. So I mapped it exactly the response, not the Perplexity response. I should have mapped the Perplexity response in here. So that was my fault. Now the problem here, there's another small problem which I will cover more of it here, but since we are already in the flow, let's go on. The problem here is that what should I respond back from here? There is this hash blah blah blah. That makes more sense. Let's move that. In the next lecture, we'll change that to make it more readable when we are integrating it with Vapi. Alrighty, so if I run it one more time and I execute it based on this, you'll see the response coming back is not the question which I mistakenly mapped it wrong. The response is going to be exactly that information that came back from Perplexity. There is a small error here. Let's fix the error. So the error happens because it's an invalid JSON. Why? Because it's that object thingy. So we need to do this JSON.stringify. Oh, sorry, the wrong place. Unfortunately, this might not work because of one thing. Yes, because we have here a lot of information that is not a valid JSON. So this is the moment when a little bit of vibe coding is involved. I would love to introduce this totally off the script. So you can either ask, well, let me explain the problem, what's happening here. The problem that's happening here is that this is not a valid JSON. Why? Because of this. You can see here, there is a double quotation mark, while inside a quotation mark, you cannot have another double quotation mark. It's not a valid JSON. It's not a correct JavaScript object notation. So how can we clean this up is the part that we need to take care of this. Apparently, okay, this particular bug can be cleaned like this. Maybe we don't have a chance to do some vibe coding, but I wanted to show you guys how to do vibe coding. So this should have, yeah, only that extra quotation marks solve the other sides. Hopefully we'll see some other blockers that we need vibe coding so that I can take you guys to the workflow of vibe coding. But in the actual workshop, we will have a section where we'll do vibe coding. So let me run this again. This should now do the magic and give us back all the response in here. There we go. So the question went and brought us back the local relevant information. So about Berlin, about something, about urban nature and so on. But the big problem is that this entire content cannot be read easily by a TTS, a text-to-speech, being Vapi in this case. So this response has to be fluently readable by a text-to-speech engine, like in this case being DeepGram, LoRa to Elena. So that's what we're going to do in the next section. Until then, thank you for watching. See you there.